guys.
Hello, everyone, and of course, welcome to Red United TV. It's your boy Ivorian Spice, and we are back at it again with the catch-up 142. Another episode for you Manchester United fans, and of course, you know it wasn't the best weekend for us Manchester United fans. It's been a terrible week for Manchester United fans, a draw against FC Twente, and a humbling defeat against Tottenham Hotspurs, a team where Sir Alex Ferguson himself used to say, come on, lads, it's only Spurs. Now Spurs and other oppositions are saying, come on, lads, it's only Manchester United because we're not that good. Big up to those who are tuning in right now. Make sure you subscribe to Red United TV, smash that like button, share across all social media platforms, get yourself involved in the comments as well. And of course, follow Red United TV on Instagram. For those who are wondering, what the hell are you doing here? We're talking all Manchester United news related. We're talking about yesterday's game, most likely. And of course, you can see in the title, it's the Erik Ten Hag Out show. How many times have we done this show? Why don't any of us ever look at the show and see that we've done the show quite a few times in the last 3 years? This is probably like the fourth or fifth show of the Erik Ten Hag Out show. It is what it is. Make sure you guys sit back, relax, and let me introduce you to the panel. I've got Jerome and I've got special guest Chad as well. That's joined us today to get everything off his chest regarding the current diabolical situation with Manchester United. So guys, sit back. Let me give you my co-host as well, Jerome. Whoa, Jerome, what's in the background? You got too much in the background, bro.
What, you can hear what? Can you hear anything in the background?
Now you're good. Oh, word.
Okay.
You're a bit fuzzy when you talk.
I think I've got the let me check the
washing machine. You got the washing
machine. Yeah, the washing machine. Yeah.
While you sort that out, I'm gonna just introduce you to Chad as well. Chad, big up, Chad. How you doing, my bro? Let me get everything ready. Chad, welcome to Red United TV. It's a pleasure to have you as well. How you been? How was your weekend? We all know how our weekends were, but how was yours, Vince, especially?
You see, today I wanted to go out and get a fresh trim. I've just decided after yesterday's match, I decided I'm gonna grow my hair out until United win a game. I'm gonna be looking scruffy out here in these streets until United win a game.
Well, it's definitely not going to be this week because, of course, we've got a very tough week this week, especially away against Porto and as well Aston Villa. Jerome, big up to you as well. Join us. How are you, bro?
Yeah, big up, man. Yeah, I'm all good, you know. Like, obviously, last week I said don't let the results affect your weekend, but I can't even lie, it's getting more difficult by the week because after that diabolical showing yesterday, like, we're just um, we're just in no man's land at the moment. So something's got to give in the next week because yeah, the performance is just unacceptable. You can try and add gloss over it or make as much excuses as you like, but a club of our stature should not be playing in that vein. So yeah, we've got to see some big movements in the next week because otherwise the whole family is going to go into meltdown if this continues at this rate.
Yeah, and to be fair, let's be real. The fan base is at a complete meltdown right now. It's an absolute disgrace. It's really hard to be a Manchester United fan. It's hard for me to go to work. People ask me, "How was your weekend?" Ivorian Spice, and smile at my face because they know exactly what happened. You know, we've got people who don't watch football that come up to me at work and say, "You're right, Patrick. Did you have a lovely weekend? What a good match it was yesterday." No, it wasn't. But it is what it is. But let's talk about it, guys, because we're here to talk everything Manchester, especially that game against Tottenham Hotspurs. It is Manchester United nil, Tottenham Hotspurs 3. Manchester United again, their ass spanked again. Back-to-back defeats at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Last time we lost. We lost against Liverpool 3-0 to the exact same score that Tottenham did. You know what? I have to say, we were even lucky that it was 3-0 against Liverpool and still 3-0 against Tottenham Hotspur because it could have got even worse. But it's just bad. It's really bad right now, and there's so much anger and frustration when it comes to Manchester United fans. Old Trafford booing at halftime, jeering at full time to the players or to the managers whatsoever. Ineos right now looking suspicious right now. Will they make that move? But first of all, let me pass it on to my guest. We've got Chad here. Chad, you can start off the show. Give me your overall thoughts of that game. What did you think?
First and foremost, it's like Jerome said, don't let the result affect your weekend. Jerome, it's not the result.
The performances.
It's the fact that I actually watched the game. If I just went to my Google updates and I saw, okay, United got battered by Spurs 3-0, I would have been like, okay, fine. I didn't even look at who was on the team sheet, nothing. Okay, fine. I probably would have assumed Son Heung-min special. It's okay. Little did I know he wasn't even on the pitch. I wouldn't have known. But I watched the match and I honestly wish I was in the dugout coaching them. That's how bad it was. I wanted to rip Ten Hag or Ten Haram, as someone called him earlier, rip him from the dugout and just take over and coach this team. It was diabolical. I never thought I'd ever see it. Guys will say they're going in for a press, and they are 2 meters away from the player with the ball. They're not even trying to make a tackle. They're not even trying to close him down. Nothing. Spurs was pedestrian even at moments against us. That Mickey van der Ven run for the first goal should have never happened. It should have never happened. If you can't get to the man, foul him. It's okay. At least you tried. I'm not saying play dirty, but at least try, man. Come on. And as Ivorian Spice mentioned earlier, if it could have been worse. I'm saying it could have been 8. If it wasn't for Andre Onana, it could have been 8. Yeah. And Nuzem Mazraoui, who saved us like twice also, mind you, in the first half alone. So, I'm sorry. If I start naming names who I want to chop, I might get this video going along.
Chop the whole team.
And Jerome, what about you? What was your overall thoughts on that game?
Well, first of all, the pre-match talk was like, yeah, come on, let's get behind the team. Let's put an atmosphere in Old Trafford. And when the game first started, the atmosphere in the stadium was wild. Like, everyone was up for it. But it just seems like the players weren't. obviously when the game first started, we saw Bruno. Obviously, I don't want to start picking on names so early, but early doors, Bruno was like doing the press on his own. He was just running around like a headless chicken. This was in like the first minute, just running around chasing defenders, like, and they didn't even need to like do anything. All they did just passed it around, just like thinking, how's one guy pressing us gonna win the ball from us? So that's how the tone of the game started. So just like Bruno was just doing his own thing up front, and then obviously Bruno again, he was involved in that passage of play that led to the first goal. So he passed it. I think he passed it to Garnacho or Rashford, and there was a mix. Yeah, there was a mix-up between Rashford and Garnacho. It's almost like Rashford passed the ball to himself because him and Garnacho didn't go for the ball. It just looked like they both ran away. They passed it and just both didn't take ownership of it. And then all of a sudden, Van der Man, whatever his name is, he just got the ball. He just got the ball and no one challenged him at all. He was just allowed free reins to run the full length of the pitch in a straight line. He didn't even need to like drop a shoulder or like try and do some skills to get past him. He literally ran in a straight line, full speed. No one got near him within an inch. And I've got to blame Rashford and Garnacho for that. They just literally left him. As soon as he got the ball, they didn't even look back. They literally didn't even look back to see where he was. They just thought, okay, we didn't get the ball. Someone behind me will sort it out. And then all of a sudden, the momentum, like, because he was going at full speed, innit? So it's like, if he's going at full speed and the defense at that point, because it was like 2 minutes in, everyone in the team was just still half asleep. No one was alert. So they just allowed the momentum of him to just run through the whole team and then crossed it in for Brennan Johnson for an easy tapping. It was just like Onana was nowhere to be seen. It was an open net. He was asleep as well. It was literally just diabolical, that first goal. And then he just like, oh, here we go. 2 minutes in, already a goal down. And then from start to finish, it was just absolutely shambolic. Like, the team wasn't even able to make 5-yard passes to each other. It was that bad. You had so-called ball-playing defenders like Martinez involved in that as well, just passing it back to Tottenham. And Tottenham, they just ran through us like a knife through butter. It was almost like, just end this game now. This was even before the Bruno sending off. End the game now. That's how bad it was. So no one can blame, the game changed when Bruno got sent off. We were diabolical before that. It could have been like 4-0 before Bruno got sent off. That's how bad it was. They were just creating chance after chance after chance. And then Bruno, some people kept saying that it wasn't a red card. It was a red card. He had no chance of winning that ball from Maddison. And the momentum, he was slipping and he stuck his leg out. It was a cynical challenge. And for me, that deserved to be a red. I don't know why people are saying, it wasn't a red and stuff. Like, it was a red card. That we've seen the petulance from Bruno when it comes to the big games, when it really matters. This is how he is. We've seen this for this 4.5 years that he's been at the club, that he does this in the big games. He either moans, whines, fouls, dives, does something that doesn't help the team. And that's what happened. So when it was the red card, then it was almost like just damage limitation from there. So it was just try and keep the score down, really. Like, we had no chance of winning. The manager had to make some sacrifices. Apparently, Maney was injured, but he didn't look injured to me. He looked pissed off coming off. Literally, he looked pissed off coming off. And then obviously Mount came on and just just try and get some energy in midfield because we were just getting run through. And then obviously the second half, just straight away, we were just already on the back foot. And we conceded early again. It wasn't even 47 minutes in. So 2 minutes into the second half, diabolical defending. I know I keep using this word diabolical because that's the best way to describe it. That's what it was. Poor defending again. I don't know what Martinez was doing. He just seemed to have just lost his head, really, the way he was defending. And then it was just something, it was 2-0. And then it could have been anything at that point. Onana was saving us. There were some last-ditch tackles. I forgot how much chances Spurs had. I think they had like 24 shots on goal. I think someone said something in the group chat, like Kulusevski created 9 chances in that one game. I think that's a record. Since Premier League stats began in 2003, that's a record. An opposition player coming to Old Trafford and creating 9 chances. And Bruno was nowhere to be seen on that list of players. And that was in 3 games we've played at Old Trafford. So, and then obviously it got to 3-0. I think it was an own goal from a set piece. I don't know why people are blaming Casemiro. But Casemiro came on and did all right. We actually improved when he came on. And obviously it wasn't a known goal, but obviously he kind of did the flick on for Solanke for the tapping. But by then the game was long gone, so there's no point people blaming Casemiro. The game was done. We were just all about trying to keep the score down. And then when it was 3-0, Spurs were playing Ole's all over the pitch, and it was just like, just end this. And it was just like all I was thinking of is, we need to change this manager. So there was not one bit of positive in that game from a Man United perspective, and the whole team was shambolic. Like, there weren't no positives to take from the game, and there's only one way this can go really based on that performance, because that's 2 successive 3-0 home defeats at Old Trafford in the Premier League. That happened under David Moyes as well. But this is even much worse because Liverpool and Spurs could have scored a lot more goals. So there's nothing more to take from that really, apart from we need some major changes to that squad and the manager. It's not just the manager, it's the players as well, because a lot of them look like they just couldn't be bothered yesterday.
Absolutely so, man. They weren't bothered at all. I think they haven't been bothered playing for Manchester United for a very long time. Doesn't matter who's been playing. But one thing I have to say, it doesn't matter if it's Casemiro or Ugarte. The problem is that it's always that same end result. We get run through that midfield easily. I've always said it, like hot knife or butter when it comes to that midfield of ours. We have a polo. We've been constantly having a polo. Like like a couple of people said, so polo, they've called us a donut, they've called us a bagel, they've called us so many things, anything with a hole involved with it, they've called us that. And it's just embarrassing to watch Manchester United perform like that week in, week out. We're in match day 9, and have you seen my thumbnails? I haven't been happy. It's always a sad face, 2 smiley face thumbnails, and the rest of it just shows it's pain, a little bit of joy, more suffering and pain and depression. That's what it's been like. And if you see that and you look through my thumbnail, it means that it's time for someone to move on and go. It means it's not working. But against Tottenham Hotspurs, when it first started, the first couple of minutes, for Manchester United to concede an early goal in that kind of manner, and it's a defender, it's not a midfielder. I don't know if anyone has ever seen a defender go right through from the defense through to go bypass the midfield, straight in through to the defense of ours, and just not even take a shot, but to assist another player, and for the player to tap it in. Criminal. It's embarrassing to concede that so early, 3 minutes in, and it's a big game. It's a game where we need points. Again, Manchester United didn't deliver in the first half, especially. I think it's probably one of the worst first half I've seen this season. Because again,
definitely
a red card so early. And for those, yes, Chad was saying it earlier on, it's not a red card the guy slipped, but because it's Bruno, it's a fucking red card. Because we don't want to see him anymore. The way he performed as well. This is our captain, guys, I don't care if he slipped. Keep it together, innit? Like, all the time, Bruno in big games never shows himself. And once again, he never showed himself again. And the second goal, and also I like to just revert. I have to just say, Marcus Rashford, to lose that ball. I know the pass from Bruno to whoever passed it back to Rashford. Rashford never anticipated the man on. I don't think anyone screamed man on. But come on, man. Come on. Like, you can't play football like that. And I think it's a risk for Manchester United. And I think Erik Ten Hag as well, she needs to assess the fact that it's not working and needs to revert back to what he did in his first year by playing a low block and being as compact as we can be. This pressing is not working. And you saw that again, the way Mickey van der Veer took the ball and took the mick out of us, says it all. The second goal that we conceded, yes, we was a man down. Yes, you can say all that kind of stuff, but again, another goal. Who scored the second goal? Can you just remind me?
Kulusevski.
Kulusevski. And it
Yeah.
was an easy goal.
So he scored and created 9 chances in the game.
Yeah, and Solanke as well. His goal.
With the whole
Performance is all over
anime.
the place. He treats us like we are an anime.
We just gave Solanke a goal, basically.
He's doing all of this kind of stuff, and I'm like, yo, seriously, this is how you're gonna treat Manchester United. Let's go into the players. First of all, let's start with Bruno Fernandes. Because he went missing. I've said, where's Waldo? If you were playing a game of Where's Waldo and Bruno was in the picture, you would not be able to find him because he got sent off very early in that game. But another diabolical first 20, 30 minutes of Bruno Fernandes not being the man, being the captain, being the playmaker. And I have to ask Bruno Fernandes himself, do you know the job description and the job specifications of a number 10? Because clearly he doesn't know that. Giving the ball away on numerous occasions, that's not what a number 10 does. A number 10 is the orchestrator, playmaking. You know, the whole point of it is to create things, make things happen, be that guy, control the tempo of that midfield, dictate. You know, if you have to be a Robert Mugabe or Gaddafi, be a dictator. Dictate our midfield. That's what we've been asking for. But again, another poor performance. Yes, he didn't play the whole game, but I like to highlight him again because I've had enough of Bruno Fernandes. He's a fraud. What's your guys' thoughts on Bruno before you move on to your players?
With Bruno, I think a lot of people already know my thoughts on Bruno. I've had enough of him. I don't want to see his face. Literally, just get this fraud out of this club. Like literally, the summer window, they need to be shipping him off. I don't care if he got a new deal, that 300k a week. That's 2 of the worst decisions that Ineos have done so far since buying their 27% share. Is keeping ETH in charge and giving Bruno a new deal. He's 30 now, I believe, or he's about to be 30. And we can all clearly see that he's declining rapidly. Like, he's not able to pass, he can't shoot. And that's this stats back that up as well. He's not creating chances. So all this GA and all this nonsense stats, it's not stacking up. The stats ain't stacking at the moment. And also, as well, the best that we saw Bruno was in the COVID empty stadiums. 2020, 2021 was the best that we saw Bruno. Since then, he's been declining. There's been a declining trajectory. Literally, he can only play when there's no pressure and there's no fans cheering and booing. So the only thing that I can see that he's useful for is penalties. And I think even this, some people might raise their eyebrows, but I think even Maguire was a better captain than Bruno. And Maguire was a poor captain. Maguire did not do all that stuff that we're seeing from Bruno, disappearing in games, moaning and whining and all that sort of stuff. And I think if Ineos are serious, they need to seriously consider shaking up this team because Bruno, this is what we expect from him now. He doesn't perform in big games, and whenever we need a calming influence in the team, just to settle the nerves down and just to get us composed and just to keep the ball, he's not the guy. He does the total opposite. And because he keeps losing the ball all the time, it puts the team under constant pressure. And he just messes up the fluidity of the team. So it's going to be good that we're not going to see him for 3 league games so we can see how we get on. But to be fair, we'll probably still end up losing without Bruno because overall the team's just not good enough. But one of the fundamental problems of that team is Bruno in terms of whatever style the manager wants to play, in terms of keeping possession and control of the game. Bruno, he affects that. He has a negative impact on that because he's not a possession-based player. And this is why we're struggling to see a style of play from the manager because we've got players like Bruno that are always starting in that team and disrupting the flow of the game. So, that's what I've got to say on Bruno.
And you know what? I never even got to see his apology or his interview because I couldn't be bothered to see his
I didn't want to see him. Someone said in the group chat, so I don't want to see him.
Chad, did you watch his interview? Apparently, he came out and spoke to the press after he got sent off at the end of the match.
Why would you speak to the press? I didn't see it. Why would he speak to the press? I'd hang my head in shame for a month. And it's international break, mind you. The international break is coming up. So now, imagine he's going to go and play for Portugal as if nothing ever happened. and he's just gonna steal limelight from actual players and maybe pop in with a goal just to be like, look at me, I'm still here, and then come back and not play for about a month after all of that. And that's not what a captain does. That's not what a captain does. But besides all of that, Bruno has been in this team week in and week out for like what, 2 seasons?
Yeah, without fail.
He's
Without
played
missing a game.
every game for like 2 seasons straight. If that's not comfortable, tell me what is. If that's not comfortable, tell me what is.
The manager's made him undroppable, basically. And no matter how he plays, he's always on that team sheet starting.
And do you know why?
That's what's affecting us.
And do you know why he's comfortable? His competition is always injured as well. Apparently, Mason Mount was brought in to give Bruno competition in his position, but it doesn't seem to be the case. But Chad, what's your overall thoughts on Bruno's performance and Bruno himself?
If we start to clear out, him and MBE are the first names. Him and MBE are the first names.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford. Both? We'll talk about Rashford.
Both of them. I don't even want to talk too much about Bruno because Bruno is clear to see. Bruno is egotistic. He doesn't care about the team. He cares about himself. And one thing I noticed, especially yesterday at the game, was Bruno will always look to try the pass that clearly doesn't work. Because if that pass pops off, he's the star. He always goes for the thing that clearly doesn't work. And I remember, was it season before last when he said he likes to play deeper? I actually wanted to see it. Yesterday was the day I wanted to see him rather play as an 8, because if you play ahead, you're going to mess up all the attacks.
Yeah.
Rather just tiki-taka all the way. Let the runners run. Come on, man. Come on, I'm done with Bruno. I'm done. I'm done.
Another player that played extremely poor again. The player that people said, why did you drop him in the Carabao Cup when he scored, after he scored 2 goals in the Carabao Cup and scored it against Southampton, and then when it came to the weekend against Crystal Palace, they were saying it's a crime. It's criminal to drop Marcus Rashford because he scored 3 goals in 2 games. Mr. MBE himself, another stinker of a performance, and he played a good 80 minutes. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired.
That was another 2 out of 10 story.
MBE is my biggest stress. In a United jersey, MBE is my biggest stress. I don't care what anyone says. MBE is my biggest stress. Man's bad enough. That's what MBE stands for. Man's bad enough.
Man is bad enough. Marcus Rashford.
My man can't make a decision. He doesn't know when to cut or when to run straight on. He never looks to pass the ball. That's another selfish. I want to swear, but it's YouTube, guys. Oh my word! I want to swear so bad. I want to be vulgar. I wish I could be vulgar.
You can be swear. You can say what you have to say, but not frequent. But you can say that. You can drop the bombs. It's okay.
No. I'm not going to do that.
Hey, don't worry. I'm sure we'll probably catch the orange in terms of monetization, but I can get it back into the ring zone. It's okay. It's okay. Go on, Chad P. Let it off. It's okay.
Let it all out, man. This is therapy.
Jesse Uptown says, yo, Ivorian, big up United fucking shit, blood. We got touched by Spurs, fucking Spurs. Go, sorry,
okay,
Chad,
yes.
As you were saying, go ahead.
Yes, no, it's fine. I just got my permission to go off. Fuck that flat-headed, fish face, squashed head looking alien as rich, poor looking boy from the Stratford end. I don't know where he lives. I don't care. Go out and feed the kids. Go out and feed the kids. Because clearly you're not feeding us goals. Go out and feed the kids, man. Like, even if you sell him, where is he going to go? That's the worst part. We tried to sell him.
Nobody wants him because he's crap.
That's the worst part. We were like, okay, if you want to go, go. Yes, it's fine.
Yeah. Do you think, Chad, I was convinced when he decided to post that picture up of him crying and saying, this is what Manchester United mean to me? Do you think I was convinced? Especially when we won the FA Cup. He posted that picture saying what it means to him. He's in tears. I was hoping that PSG will go for him, after they sold Kylian Mbappe. But clearly they said, nah, we don't want him. He ain't good enough. We'd rather go for someone else. And they did. They did.
You know what the issue was? Benny left. Benny left. That's the big issue. But also, I'm disappointed in Benny because Benny was not allowed to be an African at Man United.
Yeah.
Benny was not allowed to be an African. Listen, I've seen Benny as a head coach. I'm South African. Benny is one of my heroes. And I've seen him as a head coach. And he's done marvelously as a head coach. But that's because he was allowed to be African. How are you going to be African to these spoiled boys in Carrington? These spoiled boys driving Bentleys at 19 years old. How are you going to be African to them? Every video we see of Benny is here laughing and smiling with these guys. Nobody's ever filming when Benny is shouting at these fools.
Chad, you got Jesse Uptime agreeing with you. Facts. Benny McCarthy wasn't allowed to be himself. Big up Monzi talked. Us also says, sorry, I can't make it tonight. It's all right, Monzi. It's like Groundhog Day. When is it ever going to stop being like this? But I do feel like it's time to go. Let's move it up from Marcus Rashford. Is there any players that you guys want to talk about that you that played well or didn't play well before we move on to the main topic of the show, Erik Ten Hag?
I just want to say we need to give Xerxes time. Well, obviously, he played poorly. He looked out of his depth yesterday. I can't even lie. And everyone's screaming for some goals from him because he just keeps missing chances. But his general play is good. But yeah, I just say just give him a bit of time. I think give all the new signings time to adjust because it's not easy being a new signing coming into this Joss because if there's no structure and no one knows what they're doing, it's hard for these new signings to come in and settle in. So players like Agate, Xerxes, I think Dillick's all right. But yeah, these players, just give them time because it's getting toxic at the moment and everyone's just saying Xerxes shit, Agate's shit, Dillick's this and that. But yeah, just give these men time because yeah, it's not easy when you got a coach that can't coach.
I'm going to interject, if I may.
Go on.
Yeah.
Can we try Xerxes at 10?
Yeah, in
That's what I was calling out for.
In replace of Bruno, because I feel like he's a better player than number 10.
Yes, because Xerxes was the one who was initiating all the attacks. Xerxes was the one trying to string things together. You put Xerxes, let him be more involved, and give us Big Bang Rasmus back, man. Come on. Unleash the boy now.
Which is true. And I would like to see Xerxes playing that position. Before we move on to Erik Ten Hag, I'm not even doing man of the match. Who's your donkey of the match in that game? Because my one is definitely Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, that's easy. Bruno Fernandes.
And his boyfriend. And his boyfriend Rashford. Because them
but actually, yeah, both of them.
and
You
yang.
need two donkeys. Bruno and Rashford. Get them out of this club.
And on top of that, the manager himself is a donkey as well. But guys,
Them
Smash
three,
that like
get
button,
them out.
guys.
Yeah.
Smash that like button. We have just ended up this topic. You get me? We're going to move on to the next. Let me just get my bell to let you guys know that we have ended this topic. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. And let's move it up, man. Smash that like button, guys, and subscribe to Red United TV. Remember, back
We're just
live.
waiting. Sorry to interrupt. We're just waiting for that. See on Sky Sports that
Yeah, we're
yellow
waiting.
through the screen.
We are waiting. I'm
Breaking
waiting.
news.
Before we
Yellow
end,
VAR.
can someone give Christian Eriksen Lance Armstrong's number? Let him get on that heart enhancement drugs or something. We
Yeah,
need a
get
10.
some stem cell
We
as
need
well.
him.
Like if he needs it.
Eriksen's our main guy in midfield right now. We need Eriksen.
Eriksen is a better number 10 than Bruno Fernandes. He has never been allowed to play in the position that he's supposed to be playing in. That's the problem that we've always had. But guys, before we move up, we're gonna move up to the Erik Ten Hag show. You know, Erik Ten Hag out. Erik Ten Hag. Let's read what he had to say after the game. You know, because he said quite a few things. He spoke about the squad today and the players that he had at his disposal. How can it produce a performance that bad? He said it was clear we started the game very poor after we conceded the goal like we did in the 3rd minute, and you are actually outnumbered, and then concede a goal from the counter attack where a centre half is crossing the whole pitch and then bring on the goal line, a cross in and then on the back post tapping in. That was our game plan. We should have protected that area very good in your best defense in the defensive transition. Our defensive transition is horrible because we know the strengths of from that point on. We are very stressful in the game and in possession as well. We didn't find the spare man in the switch. We couldn't find the spare man because he was down a man. I think our manager doesn't process what happens during that game. Bad decision making. We could keep the ball, not aggressive enough, or to play around the 3rd man action. Too many balls losses, and also we didn't get the press right. The first 20 minutes was no good, but we were still alive. We also had our chances with Xerxes, Garnacho hitting the post. Then you can always come back. But the red card, then we was downsized, and it also has a big impact on the game. Erik Ten Hag, who's lost 2 games in the league here, 3-0. How do the players come back from this? You can come back. How can they come back from this? He said, of course, there's always a new game. There will be a new day. And it's also obvious. You have to learn as a team. It can't happen in 4 days. Now, twice. The defenders of the opponents can dribble through the whole park without being stopped. Then things are impossible at top level football. You can't make such mistakes. So definitely we have to address this, but we will bounce back. The only thing I have to say, we've had to address many things in the last couple of games, but we keep seeing the same patterns keep coming up. Same thing that we saw last season is what we're seeing this season. This guy's lying to us. He can't fix this. And I'm absolutely convinced that he's not the right man to fix this, and you never will. Erik Ten Hag, is his time up, guys? And how long do you think he has? Should we wait until it comes to international break? Because Chad, you did say this week after we lose against Aston Villa. Yes, I'm predicting a loss against Aston Villa. This is how it's going to end this week. Yeah. Should we wait after international break, or should we salvage ourselves and make the change right now and look towards Thursday against Porto and Sunday with either Ruud van Nistelrooy in charge temporarily until they bring in someone new, or towards the end of the season? What's you guys' thoughts on this Erik Ten Hag? Because it's Erik Ten Hag out show. We start. Let's go.
Yeah, I think he's definitely 100% gone. It's just a matter of when, not if. And ideally, you would have wanted them to have sacked him today. As the saying goes, sacked in the morning. Even the Spurs fans were singing it. But I think what they're doing is quite calculated. I think they're thinking, let's not make a knee-jerk reaction and just sack him on the spot. Let's just give a week or so just to breathe, just analyse things. Let Egypt see out the last 2 games, away at Porto, away at Villa. Don't give that to Van Nistelrooy to get pammed by these two teams, because they're 2 difficult games. You don't want to give that to a new manager. So let Egypt see out these games, not that we're expecting much from those 2 games. And then make the change in the international break, which I believe is 2 weeks. And then obviously make Van Nistelrooy interim manager for the rest of the season. and he has those 2 weeks international period to just look at things, analyze things, work out what he's going to do for the next game. It should be in mid-October, and that's how I think they should do it. And I've just seen in the chat that Bournemouth are winning 3-0. So we're going down to 13. So it makes it even worse. It makes it like we just have to make the change now. 13th place after 6 games. Like it's just the -3 goal difference. Yeah, you got to make the change. And the reason why I think it's definitely going to happen, like you said, this is his 3rd season. It's not like it's his 1st season trying to get to know the players. He's got most of the players that he's brought in are his players that he's worked with at Ajax. And he can't get a tune out of players that he's already worked with and knows well. And that's what makes it even worse. And I remember when Klopp went to Liverpool and he played with Mkhitaryan at Dortmund, and he deliberately didn't go for him. And people were saying, "Oh, why didn't you go for him? You know him at Dortmund when Mourinho got him." And Klopp was just like, yeah, "I don't need to go for players that I've worked with. Like obviously, this is the Premier League; it's a different league. So I want to bring in players that I think that could do a job for me in this league." Obviously, Mkhitaryan done a job at Dortmund in Germany, which is a different league. And I think that's what ETH in this case is not understanding. You can't just keep bringing players from Ajax and thinking they can just slot straight into the Premier League. It doesn't work like that. And that's why I always question his talent ID when it comes to players. Obviously, they had a good possession style at Ajax, but that's Ajax in the Dutch league. The Premier League's totally different. You can't just come into Man United and change Man United into Ajax. I think you're going to start challenging for the Premier League. So, yeah, that's when I started looking at this guy sideways. I thought, nah, this guy's a fool. He doesn't know what he's doing. The Ajax system helped him. Because remember, at Ajax, he wasn't the guy that was signing all the players and stuff. The system was doing that for him. He was just a coach. But for some reason at United, we've let the managers just have free reins on bringing players in and stuff, and we've seen how that's turned out. So it's time to go. We can see that he can't coach. He can't coach a philosophy. We're still getting run through. We're conceding loads of goals. We're minus goal difference already after 6 games. We finished the minus goal difference last season and in the Champions League. We're not scoring goals as well. Even when he finished 3rd in his first season, we scored only like 57 goals. Like teams now are scoring like 80, 90 that are like challenging for the Premier League. Like, if we're keeping this manager, we're not going to be expecting that to be beating teams 3 or 4-0, just scraping 1-0 and 2-1 victories, and that's not how Man United should be. So yeah, we need to make that change because I don't see how he's going to get this team performing in a free-flowing front foot manner.
Yeah, and Chad, what do you think? Because Jerome is of the opinion that we should wait until international break. It's unfair to give someone like Ruud van Nistelrooy, who probably will be like the caretaker manager until they make decisions, to throw him straight in against Porto and Aston Villa will be quite unfair. We should wait until international break. Do you think Man United should make that change after international break or make the change now, Chad P?
You know what? Jerome, I see your sentiments, but it's those same sentiments that kept Ten Hag in a job this season. It's exactly the same sentiments that kept Ten Hag in a job this season. I wouldn't have even sacked him this morning. I would have sacked him at the press conference. Have Dan Ashford stand there with Jim Ratcliffe at the door.
Not even that, Chad. Someone comes to whisper in his ear while he's answering a question. It appears I've lost my job.
Yes. And on top of that, you had Old Trafford, Chief. You had home.
Mm-hmm.
You had home.
You know the funny thing is,
you don't have to travel. Just go and pack your things.
You know the funny thing is, sorry to interrupt, just one quick thing. Mm-hmm. It's funny how the old regime, how we criticised them, they sacked Louis van Gaal on the same day, basically, that he won the FA Cup. And he finished 5th, only on goal difference. And we kept this manager in 8th place minus goal difference. It's shocking. Like, Ineos need to hold that L on this one.
You know what crazy stat? You were talking a lot of stats, Jerome. You know what crazy stat I saw? This man's last 28 games was worse than Gary Neville at Valencia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that
Yeah, I
stats.
saw that. Yeah.
I've got that stats right there. Chad, I think I got that stats. I've got that somewhere. Let me get it.
Gary Neville at Valencia
Yes.
did
Chad, should I
better
read the
than
stats? Should I read the
Ten Hag.
stats? It says here, Gary Neville, 28 games at Valencia, 11 losses, 39 goals, 38 conceded. Erik Ten Hag in the last 28 games at Manchester United, 10 losses, 42 goals, and 40 conceded. So Gary Neville conceded less.
And with context, you spent 600 million on it.
And Gary Neville didn't last this season.
Yeah.
And Gary Neville couldn't speak Spanish
Yeah.
and has never coached anyway.
That is crazy.
So besides that, and also another thing, Ole played his first matches in the Champions League against PSG. So don't tell me we can't get by on new manager bounce. We can get by on new manager bounce because Ruud is a bigger hero than Ole is. Okay, maybe not a bigger hero, but Ruud is more revered.
Yeah, Ruud is for me, he's a bigger legend than Oli. Obviously, Oli was the sub man, but Ruud was the main guy.
And obviously,
Oli
did stick his leg out and won us the the Champions League.
Yeah.
But Ruud was the guy.
Ruud was the guy. And that's also the thing. So now you get all that euphoria. You get a man who also has something to prove, who has to apologize to Fergie, who has to make up to Fergie. It's a story that, it's the new manager bounce of dreams. To be honest, it's the new manager bounce of dreams. As long as we don't hire him permanently, it's okay. Because also, what other options are there? What other options are there? Thomas Tuchel? I'm not taking him.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not taking him.
I think Tuchel's a better manager than Etix, but I don't want him because we'll just have the same problem in 2 years. We'll be Tuchel out in 2 years. So I've already said I wanted De Zerbi from ages ago, but everyone laughed at me and said, "No, he's just going to get pammed." But
I don't want to be there.
Yeah. I don't think we need. We don't need this.
Graham Potter, Gareth Southgate. No.
That's just what we don't want. Gareth Southgate is the name
no
that
one
we
else.
don't want. So we stick with Ruud because Ruud had the experience. Ruud had the experience at PSV. He did well. He won the Dutch Cup, finished second, scored the most goals in the Eredivisie. But again, it's an Eredivisie. But I think the fans themselves will find themselves more liking to bring Ruud van Nistelrooy. And as well, as we sit right now, since Ruud came in, I always had that picture in my mind that, maybe they brought him in just in case Erik Ten Hag doesn't do well and say, you know what, Ruud, we brought you in because we believe you have the characteristics and the ability to be the Manchester United manager. Your philosophy, what you done at PSV, we can work with you. Yeah, we just have to wait until Erik Ten Hag has bad results, then you step in. I feel like that's the plan because this Ruud van Nistelrooy was a bit odd. Him coming in, him rejecting the Burnley job as well, where he can go be the man and come to Manchester United to be an assistant coach. There's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity. I'll be honest with you, Chad. I'm with you. I woke up. Last time I said I want to wake up. Breaking news on Sky Sports News, yellow for the whole day. Manchester United have sacked Erik Ten Hag. Because again, why should we go into another game? Why should I do a watch along and suffer, and watch Manchester United lose against FC Porto and get destroyed in the midfield, and then do another watch along and do match reactions in pain against Aston Villa? Why should I go through that? And knowing that we won't play well with this manager, knowing that Rashford will play, knowing that Bruno will play on Thursday, knowing all of these things, why?
Yeah,
Bruno's not bad for Thursday. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, he's going to play Bruno on Thursday.
He's playing on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Rashford's playing as well. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the same shit show. By the way, Ruud van Nistelrooy is not part of this. If anyone thinks that,
it's not his fault.
Van Nistelrooy is not. He don't make the decisions on this. He's just assisting.
Van Nistelrooy is more. I've seen Van Nistelrooy more angry on the touchline than Erik Ten Hag is. I've seen Van Nistelrooy super animated, up and down, like what the fuck is going on? Like what is this? At times, I feel like he's supposed to be the manager. But I want Erik Ten Hag's ahead right now. I'm still pissed off from Sunday's defeat, you know, on a Sabbath day, on a Sunday.
I haven't recovered from that first goal that we
My
conceded.
man.
I'm still blaming Rashford for that first goal. I don't care.
After church, you know, this is what they do to me. I'm supposed to be at peace on Sunday. And guys, can I say something? I've realized that every time we play on Sunday, majority of those results have always been bad.
And Saturday lunchtime.
And Saturday lunchtime.
Sunday. I hate Saturday lunchtime. It ruins the whole weekend.
Can we just
when you try to block it out, you still got it at the back of your mind.
The whole day to dwell. But we're better off doing the 3 p.m. kickoff. That's when we get our results.
Yeah, that's when we
You know what? At this point, give us Monday nights.
I don't know if I can survive Monday nights, man. Messes up the work.
At this point, give us Monday night. Honestly, at this point, give us Monday night. Look, it's Monday. We went to work. We got shouted at by our bosses about nonsense.
After a stressful day of work on a Monday, Monday, to come back and watch the shit show on Monday night.
I don't think I'm allowed to drink after on a Monday night, especially when we lose. And then knowing that Manchester United will play on a Monday, watching everyone else win their games, their rivals win, that's added a lot of pressure to the players. That's a lot of pressure to the players, knowing that they have to win because the rest won.
That's fine. That's fine. They're struggling when the rest are winning. So
at least, I guess, if Chavs, at least we can enjoy our weekends if they play on Monday.
My man.
Yeah. Enjoy your weekends.
Rather sleep the hangover off, or sleep off the work day, whatever.
It is bad. I don't know. So, guys, where can we go from here before we end the show when it comes to Erik Ten Hag and when it comes to Manchester United as well? Where can we go from here?
Well, we definitely need to change the manager. Obviously, some want it done now, and some will want it done in the international break. But the only issue that I've got is that we've got a squad full of duds, and any new manager that comes in is going to want to make major changes. And I don't know if Ineos or the club have got the finances to do that. So whoever does come in has to try and make the most of the players that we've got, because we've got a few players there that are going to be hard to get rid of, apart from the ones whose contracts expires next summer. So that's another thing to consider as well. We can't expect miracles from any new manager or coach that comes in, but we should expect better performances and results than what we're getting now.
Ole could be coming back.
No, please don't say that.
If Oli comes back, I'm done. I'm done. If Oli comes back, I am physically done. Don't even tell me to watch the games or jump on.
Listen, that guy's been unemployed for 3 years. Anyone that hasn't had a job for 3 years is a red flag. It is a red flag.
Think of take it this way. Nobody in the Premier League would employ Oli. Not even Southampton, who are bottom of the table. He's not a Premier League manager.
Can you stomach an Oli return? Are you looking to that? Do you want him back, Chad? Do you want him back?
No.
Oli won't get another job.
I said that because this week, I think it was yesterday, the story came out.
Yes.
Him putting his hand back up.
He said he'll say yes over and over again. That's how
nobody
desperate he is.
No club wants him.
He's desperate. I'm like, bro, you haven't been in play for 3 years. We're going to ask you, what did you do in the last 3 years? You can't even cover what you've done. It's not like Oli wasn't doing punditry in the last 3 years. He wasn't in the Euros doing punditry. He wasn't in the World Cup doing punditry. He wasn't even in the African Cup of Nations doing punditry. I told you, not even do Premier League punditry. You know, he hasn't been working.
Wait, stop that. Stop that last comment. Stop that last comment. Take back that last comment about AFCON. AFCON is serious football. AFCON is serious football.
We know.
We have to remember as well that
he hasn't been working.
We have to remember, he's unemployed, isn't it?
He's unemployed. Collecting job seeker allowance, you know.
Helping his daughter, in it.
Supporting his daughter's football team at Manchester United.
No.
The last 3 years. Molde didn't even take him back.
Exactly. And Mulder took him back before, when he lost the Cardiff job, but not when he lost the Man United job. They said they don't want him. The guy got zero tactics. Because you know why? Because they said only zero tactics. That's why I understood. I understood zero tactics in that Norwegian language, and that told me that Oli has zero tactics, and they don't want him back.
Remember his godson Haaland. Remember Haaland rejected him.
His godson, Erling Haaland, not good enough.
Bellingham had a full tour at Old Trafford, and we looked at Oli and thought, "Nah, this ain't it."
A full tour with Sir Alex Ferguson accompanying him just to gas him up, and it still didn't work.
Yeah, he's not it, man. Think about it, the last 3 years, managers have evolved. Like we've got all these young up-and-coming managers coming through now that are all better than Oli. You've got the manager at Southampton, obviously he's struggling at the moment, but he's still a decent coach.
Seems like a decent coach.
Even McKenna and Carrick are better than Oli, and they work tons.
I would love to see McKenna and Carrick at United.
I'd rather McKenna or Carrick come back than Oli. Put it that way.
Yeah.
I would like to see McKenna and Carrick at United.
But would it be too early to have McKenna now? Because of course he's still finding himself in the Premier League, where he enjoyed the Championship. They done extremely well, but now it's about finding himself whether he can, what's the word?
If he can handle the Premier League,
the big boys. Want to deal with the big boys, Can he chill with the big boys?
Then again, Vincent Kompany got relegated with Burnley, shockingly.
Yep,
and he's killing it with Bayern.
He is. Yeah, I have to admit, he's. Every time I look at the scores, I know they drew against Leverkusen, but prior to that, it was 5, 6, 9s.
Nine.
Just destroying teams. Nines, Nines.
Nine.
In the Champions League as well. It's crazy.
You never know. You never know. Anyway, guys, let's wrap it up. Final thoughts with Chad before we end.
Erik Ten Haram out.
Jerome, your final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. I've got to echo Chad. Yeah, Etic out, and Ineos need to get a grip because right now they're folding under the pressure right now.
Man, you hire a black manager.
Whoa! Wow, that would be the first, and I hope it's someone that's really good. If it was a black manager, who would you go for before we end?
That's a good question.
Who would you go for, Chad? Because high profile or low profile?
Who's a high profile black manager?
Vincent Kompany right now.
No,
he's the only one I can think of.
And well,
maybe Vieira.
Patrick Vieira is the other black manager that. But
he was over.
Is he working? Right. Is he working? I thought he was good.
He is. Palace. He is. He's at Strasbourg.
Oh, that's good. He's in France. That's good.
Yeah, he's at Strasbourg. But Vieira wouldn't be too much of a left field choice. Remember, he was Ineos' son.
Yeah, he was at Nice.
He was at Nice. Yeah, he was at Nice.
Yeah,
he was at Nice.
And he was at Man City, so I wouldn't worry about the Arsenal links. Like,
he managed New York City.
Yeah. So these when it comes to once you've retired from football, you just manage where you want, basically. So I think Vieira would be a good
Benny McCarthy, interim manager.
Interim manager, Benny McCarthy, South African manager who shouldn't have not left, who should have stayed with Ruud van Nistelrooy. I don't believe Benny McCarthy should have. They should have renewed his contract and stayed with Ruud van Nistelrooy, because Ruud van Nistelrooy took the assistant manager position. Obviously is the attacking phases of the game and the way we want to attack. But of course, you need Benny McCarthy there to sharpen players like Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee as well, and also that Trashford guy. So, and never was meant to lose. But guys, it is what it is. We've gone over our time. It has been a wonderful show. Big up to everyone that's tuned in today. Smash that like button, subscribe. Remember, I'm back live Thursday, 7:30 p.m. for the Porto game, and live again this weekend. I believe Saturday or Sunday against Aston Villa for the watch along. So make sure you guys tune in. Sunday. Oh God, another Sunday. 4:30, isn't it? 4:30. Yeah, the main event. Oh no, we're not even the main event. It's at 2 o'clock. I think it's a 2 p.m. kickoff. Yeah, we start a bit early. Thank God. Because you know what? The last thing I want. I will pray. We would have finished church by then. And gone straight into the match.
Sunday, the
Sunday
6th.
service would have been finished by then.
2 o'clock.
Then go into the
2
match.
o'clock.
Hopefully, God would have heard my prayers and answered them. It is what it is. But guys, as always, big up to every one of you guys. It's been one hell of a show. Big up to Jerome and big up to Chad as well. Chad, we're hoping you'll be back as soon as possible because this was a good show and we would love to have you back again. So just let me know, holler at me. As always, like I end the show, I know it's really hard right now, but remember to keep it united and remember to keep it Red United. God bless you all. We are out and see you next week, Monday at 8 p.m.
Big up,
Peace.
Cheers.